In this short video, we look at the budget proposal on direct taxes. While you may have seen many discussions on the changes in long-term capital gains and removal of indexation except for investments made prior to 2001, there have been many important changes, particularly in several procedural aspects. We look at these in this video. Also, please tell us in the comments here below, what do you think of these changes, particularly the changes in LTCG? Has it benefited you or has it increased your liability? Direct taxes, simplification for charities and of TDS. The two tax exemption regimes for charities are proposed to be merged into one. The 5% TDS rate on many payments is being merged into the 2% TDS rate, and the 20% TDS rate on repurchase of units by mutual funds or UTI is being withdrawn. TDS rate on e-commerce operators is proposed to be reduced from 1 to 0.1%. Credit of TCS is proposed to be given in the TDS to be deducted on salary. It is proposed to decriminalize delay for payment of TDS up to the due date of filing statement for the same. Also, a plan is proposed to provide standard operating procedure for TDS defaults and simplify and rationalize the compounding guidelines for such defaults. Simplification of reassessment. An assessment hereinafter can be reopened beyond 3 years from the end of the assessment year only if the escaped income is rupees 50 lakh or more, up to a maximum period of 5 years from the end of the assessment year. Even in such cases, a time limit of 6 years before the year of search, as against the existing time limit of 10 years, is proposed. This will reduce tax uncertainty and disputes. Simplification and rationalization of capital gains. Short-term gains on certain financial assets shall henceforth attract a tax rate of 20%, while that on all other financial assets and all non-financial assets shall continue to attract the applicable tax rate. Long-term gains on all financial and non-financial assets will attract a tax rate of 12.5%. For the benefit of the lower and middle income classes, an increase in the limit of exemption of capital gains has been proposed on certain financial assets to rupees 1.25 lakh per year. Listed financial assets held for more than a year will be classified as long-term, while unlisted financial assets and all non-financial assets will have to be held for at least 2 years to be classified as long-term. Unlisted bonds and debentures, debt, mutual funds, and market-linked debentures, irrespective of holding period, however, will attract tax on capital gains at applicable rates. Taxpayer services. All the major taxpayer services under GST and most services under customs and income tax have been digitalized. All remaining services of customs and income tax, including rectification and order giving effect to appellate orders, shall be digitalized and made paperless over the next 2 years. Litigation and appeals. To dispose of the backlog of first appeals, it has been planned to deploy more officers to hear and decide such appeals, especially those with large tax effect. For resolution of certain income tax disputes pending in appeal, Vivad Se Vishwas Scheme 2024 has been proposed. It has been proposed to increase monetary limits for filing appeals related to direct taxes, excise and service tax in the tax tribunals, high courts and Supreme Court to rupees 60 lakh, rupees 2 crore and rupees 5 crore respectively. With a view to reduce litigation and provide certainty in international taxation, it is proposed to expand the scope of safe harbor rules and make them more attractive. Also, transfer pricing assessment procedure shall be streamlined. Employment and investment. To bolster the Indian startup ecosystem, angel tax for all classes of investors has been proposed to be abolished. There is tremendous potential for cruise tourism in India to give a fillip to this employment-generating industry. A simpler tax regime for foreign shipping companies operating domestic cruises in the country has been proposed. India is a world leader in the diamond cutting and polishing industry, which employs a large number of skilled workers. To further promote the development of this sector, safe harbor rates for foreign mining companies selling raw diamonds in the country has been proposed. to attract foreign capital for the country's development needs, it has been proposed to reduce corporate tax rate on foreign companies from 40 to 35%, deepening the tax base. Security transactions tax on futures and options of securities is proposed to be increased to 0.02% and 0.1% respectively. For reasons of equity, it is proposed to tax income received on buyback of shares in the hands of the recipient. Others. To improve social security benefits, deduction of expenditure by employers towards NPS is proposed to be increased from 10 to 14% of the employee's salary. Similarly, deduction of this expenditure up to 14% of salary from the income of employees in private sector, public sector banks and undertakings opting for the new tax regime is proposed to be provided. Indian professionals working in multinationals get ESOPs and invest in social security schemes and other movable assets abroad. Non-reporting of such small foreign assets has penal consequences under the Black Money Act. Such non-reporting of movable assets up to rupees 20 lakh is proposed to be depenalized. Other major proposals in the finance bill relate to withdrawal of equalization levy of 2%, expansion of tax benefits to certain funds and entities in IFSCs, and immunity from penalty and prosecution to Benamidar on full and true disclosure so as to improve conviction under the Benami Transactions Prohibition Act 1988. Personal income tax. Those opting for the new tax regime, the standard deduction for salaried employees is proposed to be increased from rupees 50,000 to rupees 75,000. Deduction on family pension for pensioners is proposed to be enhanced from rupees 15,000 to 25,000. This will provide relief to about 4 crore salaried individuals and pensioners. In the new tax regime, the tax rate structure is proposed to be revised as follows: enabling a salaried employee in the new tax regime to save up to rupees 17,500 in income tax. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content.